as you take a sip.
I'm a little extra, so don't mind me. Y'all do y'all. Y'all want to be professional, be professional. If you want to not be professional. Okay. It's on. So we're live now on the Real Nurses of Detroit. Hold on, I gotta share it to my page. I can't do nothing until I share it. I don't see it. I don't see it. Nothing yet. Oh, that's my pager.
You still got a pager?
I know, right?
It is 2020.
And let me
They
show-
still make pagers?
Let me show you how big it is, though.
Oh, you probably got one of them
I
alphanumeric
usually-
pages. One of them jokers that read
And
you
you
like
can't
a-
even text on it or nothing. And I usually take the battery out. I'm
They
not
got
gonna
no
lie.
SkyTel. They don't have the. What happened to the one? The little flip up that we used to have back in in the early 2000s
It's a big
when they
board,
first
too.
came out. The what was that stupid
I
thing
use
called?
it for an alarm clock.
Oh, I probably got that from my on-call phone.
You got a phone, girl?
You don't have a phone.
Well,
Oh, you got a.
Throwback.
They still got
the
these?
OG brick.
Oh my
Let me see.
god!
Exactly.
So anybody that was born after the year 2000, this is a pager.
Oh yeah, they probably don't even know what a pager
They
is.
don't even know what a payphone is.
That's true. I didn't even think about that.
To reach me is to beat me.
Exactly.
But you need a payphone, right? To
Right,
call
right,
her.
right.
You need a payphone and a couple
So-
quarters in your pocket.
It's kind of like, what's the point if you, girl, bye. This is what I do with this thing. I used to love
Why?
pagers back in the day.
What if somebody's life is
Huh?
depending on
I'm not at
you?
work. My hours are
Right, red. 9 to 5.
period.
All right, Red.
Yeah, red. That's red right.
What my hours are.
hours are from 9 to 5.
I'm not playing about that either. I don't.
That's a
What?
shame. That's
You
a
better catch me on
doggone shame.
Facebook because you ain't.
The patient.
Yes,
Wow.
you can't page me. But if they ask me for my number, I give them my patron number. But I'm not always available. I'm not a slave to my.
As you shouldn't be.
I don't get on call pay. That's just when I'm in the hospital because the hospital doesn't have good,
Service,
service.
towers and everything.
Yeah. So, I was supposed to do this something to get my. Okay, I think we're on now. So if you guys want to share it from the Real Nurses of Detroit page to your page, then people can be able to comment and stuff. It's like 3 people watching. It's probably us 3. We so popular. Okay. Yes.
Okay, so we are recording in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Real Nurses of Detroit with your favorite nurse practitioner, V Money, without the money.
Wow.
And who else? Who's with me tonight?
You have Nakia here. You've got your other favorite nurse practitioner, Hawa.
And you got your boy, the Doc, a.k.a. Trinity DDS.
Trinity DDS.
That's
Trinity
me.
DDS.
What are we talking about today? We are talking about vaccines. Mainly, I mean, I want to kind of focus on the flu shot because it is flu season in Michigan.
That's your favorite one, right, Doc?
It
Right.
is
Did you see that?
absolutely my favorite one to avoid at all costs.
He's a liar.
That's
my favorite one
To avoid.
At all
Yeah.
costs. Hey, see, you calling me a liar? And
Oh
I'm
no,
sitting here telling the truth?
that was the truth.
See?
That
Here
bell
we
gonna
go.
get you.
Here we go.
I didn't go crazy with it. I got my flu shot. Did y'all get y'all flu
I
shots?
got my flu shot. Yes.
The Real Nurses of Detroit got their flu shots.
And no, the doctor did not get his flu shot.
Which
I
is
have
typical.
Never,
Which is typical.
Wow.
never gotten a flu
Until
shot.
he gets the flu, the real flu.
The
I've had-
real.
The real flu, not
I've
this
had the
2-day,
flu,
3 thing that's
but
going around.
Not the bird flu.
Not
The
bird-
real,
bird
the
flu.
A or
I hope
B.
I don't get the bird flu.
I mean,
but
you gonna need a nurse, ain't you?
Yeah.
And then we can be like,
come on, take care. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I need a sponge bath or something.
Oh, no.
We don't do that anymore.
My body
I know that's
hurts.
right.
Somebody
we beyond
needs
sponge
to
baths. It's a year
rub
nurse,
some
and we
Vicks
are
vapor
not-
rub on my back.
We are not.
Ew.
We not sponge baths.
We not sponge
nothing.
baths.
We ain't massaging. Say it again for the people in the back. Because they used to make us
We
do
ain't
that.
wiping butts.
We
We ain't
don't
doing none of
do
that.
that.
Well, I mean, I'm just.
We're highly educated.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
That has absolutely nothing to do with your educational status. I
sorry,
know you all
excuse
are
me,
highly
what?
educated.
Excuse me?
I'm just saying
Hello?
that.
Hi.
making fun of
Yeah,
me,
it's about to drop. I'm going to call you back. Yeah, no, I don't know. It's breaking up.
Nurses.
Huh? Hello? Hello?
I'm
Oh,
gonna
I
say
can't hear
this.
you.
This does not pertain to you all.
But we represent now.
Y'all you representing,
Hold
but
on
nurse and flies I do despise.
Woo!
This nurse, the more I like flies.
Wow. Shots fired.
Bang bang, bang bang.
Okay.
I'm glad I got my
You don't
bail
need
tonight.
one.
That's a
You
HIPAA
don't need
violation.
one.
HIPAA
You don't
violation.
need one.
That's a HIPAA violation. I don't know how, but you're gonna get fined. Keep it up. Okay.
Find yourself.
We're gonna talk about a lot of different things. I'm glad you guys are here because you guys are the experts. And we have a call-in line tonight? I don't know if we can have people call in. You guys can definitely comment on our Facebook Live page if you have any questions. But we're definitely going to talk about the flu vaccine and all vaccines because we have a discrepancy where, everybody's going vegan and vegetarian and we want to be healthy. And so we don't want to put any vaccinations. I don't know why that correlates, but the general public is not okay with vaccinating even the children. I mean, and we're talking 80s babies where we dang old sure got vaccinated.
Yes.
We've had more vaccinations, I think, than our parents, the baby boomers, but the thing is that there's no polio. It's gone. It's eradicated. Why? Because we had a vaccination for it. But the flu is something you have to get yearly. And it's a discrepancy. People know.
Why do you have to get it yearly?
Why do we have to
Let
get
me
it?
tell you about the flu. We 80s babies, right?
Yes.
So the flu, I always say, is like remember the movie The Matrix?
Uh-huh.
And how there was always something changing in the Matrix. Well, the flu virus is like this super virus that kind of redoes itself every season. So that's why every year your protection leaves. The other thing, as Dr. Gordon stated, he said sometimes you get the flu vaccine and you still get sick or it doesn't work. That's the myth that's out here with a lot of people, especially people of color. Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, sorry. I had to get you on my Snapchat because that was a myth. Dr. Gordon, you got butterflies
myth.
coming out your head. I'm just saying. Go ahead. I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm listening.
No, but that's the one reason you have to get a flu shot every year because it just changes itself. It's this is mutates. It changes. It replicates. It grows. It becomes a different bug. In the mid-season, it's this super thing. So no one can kind of understand the flu. We're still trying to figure it out. So
Yeah.
And that's and I don't disagree. I think the vaccine is perfectly fine. People who use it do it. I choose not to do it just because of the fact if I have one, I still got to come back the next year to get another one. The next year to get another one.
True.
And there's no guarantee. I mean, and like you see, it is constantly replicating and constantly changing. So it's hard to, barrel down. But it's hard to say. I mean, it's like I come in and get a flu shot. Oh, the flu shot you had that's not gonna work for this year. This is another super bug this year.
Okay. Hey. I don't know.
My.
Oh, hey, we have a caller. And hey, caller. Hi.
No guarantee. I mean, and like it is constantly replicated, constantly changing. So it's hard to.
Wait a minute. Pause. Who am I speaking with?
Hello.
Hi.
it's two people.
Oh, he's listening to it. Can you turn down your? Can you turn down your phone?
Hey.
I can hear myself
I
now.
don't know.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hey, we have a caller.
Oh, wow.
And hey, caller.
I can hear myself. Okay.
Caller,
Can
you
you
still
call
there?
call us back when you can turn down your
Wait, just have him turn your pod
Wait a minute,
the
Paul, who am I speaking
display
with?
down
Hello?
so we can hear you talking. Hello.
Oh my gosh.
That was all sorts of.
It was
Hello?
some. There was a whole lot
That's
going on there,
wrong.
but I'm glad he called. What's the number if people want to call in? Oh, it's in the comments. Okay, so the number is posted in the comments on Facebook Live on our Real Nurses of Detroit, and
We got a caller coming in.
I think it's an '80s baby on this phone. Hello, this the Real Nurses of Detroit.
It's not no 80s, baby.
Okay, who is it? Who am I speaking with?
This Mr. John Golston. How you doing?
Oh Lord, have mercy. Listen, don't get on here and act up, okay? Because I can hang up.
Ain't nobody acting up but you.
You
Would
know, these
stop it?
Pisces men be calling and they come for me.
Wait,
and
why
I-
you trying? What you got to say against Pisces men? I mean, everybody ain't coming for you.
Go ahead and say what you got
Exactly.
to
I ain't even paying
let
you
the
no
man
attention.
come
I
and-
was
and
listening to the nurse practitioner
Exactly.
sitting next to the gentleman, right?
Wow.
When she was talking about the super bugs and how they mutate and for the flu virus every year, right?
Right,
Yes.
right.
So my question to you is how do they know how to stop what's coming already, and how do they know what to put in the shot before it even get there?
That's a good question, Mr. What's your name?
Golston.
Mr. Pisces. Mr.
Mr. Paul.
That is a.
Hey, are you on the east side? Let me start there.
Wait, put some respect on his name.
Oh my goodness! I hear some hating in the air. Is that hating out here?
Always
A
one.
disclaimer. I love all east and west side of Detroit. I'll just be joking. Don't take me that seriously when I'm not talking medical. Go ahead.
So the way it's kind of complicated. The way they decide what goes into the vaccine every year, they start deciding for next year what goes into the vaccine next month because it takes a while to make, manufacture,
Hello?
configure. Can you hear me? You said hello.
Hello.
Can
I
you
can't hear you.
can you hear can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
I can hear now.
Okay.
So that's a good question. It takes a while to get everything together to put in the vaccine. So they're starting to look at what to put in next year's vaccine next month. But the issue is we still got flu this year, right? We still got it circulating. So they have to do this whole logarithm and do all this stuff. So a lot of times, and I'm going to be honest, a lot of times it's the science, which means they use all the things that comes forth and looking at the population and all this stuff and what's in the air. And then a lot of times it's a guess because you have to take data and see the probability of this strain occurring again this year. What we do know is the strain that's been occurring the last couple years is sticking around. It's not going anywhere. So we have a H3N2 and a H1N1. So those are both A strains. But one of them is worse on a certain age group, and one of them is worse on another age group. So the H3N2 is worse on your elderly population. So they are affected by the flu totally different than somebody in my age range, which is very young. No.
Are you an 80s baby? Huh?
Baby, I'm a 70s baby.
Okay.
All right.
Look good for the 70s.
Yeah, you got it, girl. You look good, girl.
Right, all right.
You look good, girl.
So that's the thing about the flu. It's so smart that it can outsmart scientists. So when people like Dr. Gordon here say he doesn't want to get the flu vaccine because he's going to get the flu,
He's a smart man.
you're not very smart.
Hey,
Oops.
man, I say
No,
none of that.
don't give him no ring. Don't no. But you have to remember that it makes the flu a lot better if you get it. There's no guarantee. Nothing is 100%. If
Yes.
anything was 100%, we all be millionaires, right? So nothing is 100%. You got to think about it like if you go to the doctor for your blood pressure medication and we try one out, it might not work right on you, but it might work right on somebody else, and that's
Right.
what happens. So I'm gonna cut that answer real short right there. That was a long one, but it's real short.
Thank you, John, for calling, though. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Well, it was not another part to that question, but Okay, so I listened to the answer that you said, right? So you say it's like they guess and they do it on scientific data and they pull it out the air.
I didn't say pull it
so
out the air
basically,
now. Hold
I
on.
mean, well,
you know.
no, not pull it out the air. You did say they take air samples. I did hear you say that.
I didn't hear
I
Correct.
didn't say hair sample.
Air
samples.
samples.
Air.
What's circulating?
Yeah.
I won't say air sample.
Yeah, what's circulating?
What's affecting the population?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, so basically, it's like guesswork. Okay, well, we guess this right here gonna come. And we gonna put this together, and this is what we gonna vaccinate the people for.
Let me clue
But
you in on
you gotta
something real
look at-
quick. Let me pause you. Medicine is an art and a science. So what happens with part of medicine, the way they get to where they get to, even I'm assuming with dental work, that you have to try out certain things and see what works right for a certain population. So I didn't mean to cut you off, but we guessing at a lot of things hypothetically, scientifically, from experience. Like somebody can take Tylenol and be perfectly fine, where your cousin or your brother can take Tylenol and have a serious reaction to it.
Right.
We didn't guess that would happen.
Nothing's cookie cutter in medicine, and even experiments are controlled. So you have a control group versus the experimental group, where we know the isolated thing. Girl. Yes, there's one thing that's. Thank you. Ring my bell. I'm teaching real good right now. Okay, so that's what happens when we control something. We want to see if this isolated, whatever we're experimenting, if that's going to work on the majority of. We know it's not going to work for everybody, but if we can get 50%, that's a great probability versus just a pattern or just something that was just. We fell upon it and it just so happened to work. So, that's science. That's what it is. I hope we
what about the
question.
people who don't get vaccinated and get the flu and don't get the flu though? You know what I'm saying?
That's a great question too. And we're going to cover that next, but I'm going to let you go cuz we got a whole show.
No, that's a real good.
No,
Okay.
I'm going to cover that. I am. We're going to cover that next. Seriously. We're going to cover that next. That's great. Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you, sir.
All
Keep
right,
watching.
nice talking to y'all.
Yes,
All
keep
right.
watching.
All right.
So just to really cover what he was talking about was what I wanted to add to what you were saying. I know a little bit about a little bit.
And we all do.
Yeah, but basically what the goal of vaccination is, we want to do herd vaccination. So if you had a herd of cattle, or the community and the population, or the city of whatever, the state of Michigan, we want to get the majority of people vaccinated so that those people can be converted and they are immune to that virus, so that the ones that are not able, for whatever reason, whether they choose not to, they're allergic to something in the vaccine, they have an illness or a lowered immune system, they are still protected because the majority of the people have been vaccinated. So that way, herd vaccination, the more people we can get vaccinated, the more protected we'll be. That's why you don't see polio. Polio is a disease that's debilitating, like wheelchairs. It is eradicated. You do not see anybody, children, even from childhood, where they said one of our presidents had it, but I don't think he really did. But listen, I digress. But I'm just saying, you don't see polio anymore, or people debilitated where they have those steel braces on their legs where they couldn't walk, or they're in a wheelchair. Why? Because herd vaccination. Therefore, there's no more polio. But if you go to a third world country,
There you go.
where they don't have access to health care,
Correct.
they can't afford the vaccinations, you're going to see polio. You're going to see some stuff, all kinds of stuff. You're going to see the disease process that has turned into other disease processes. We're not going to see that because we've been vaccinated. Our parents vaccinated the 80s, 70s, and 80s.
Yeah.
And people always ask, and I think John had asked me on Facebook, why do we keep getting more vaccinations and more because we have more diseases, more infections. Like, we're going to talk about it. Coronavirus. And I ain't talking about the brew, okay? Don't call here talking about you want a Corona, you want to order a Corona, because this ain't the bar.
Wait. Did your phone ring?
Huh?
I said, did your phone ring?
No.
Because I didn't call for you. Come for me. Okay?
Corny.
Okay?
Corny alert.
Dang.
I'm just saying because I got asked that yesterday. They was like, "Is that a Corona? That's a drink. That's a drink.
That's a drink.
Drink. I was like, no, not the beer.
It's alcoholic tendencies. Right?
Who, you or her?
No, I'm saying whoever
Oh no, he did.
whoever asked that question.
Is he coming? Are you coming for me?
I ain't coming for you. I just
I didn't send for you. Don't do it.
you know what?
Oh, great.
But no, the coronavirus, everybody's scared about that. That's the new thing this year. But I want to finish talking about other vaccines because I'm seeing new moms that are not vaccinating their children. I'm appalled. I almost feel like it's a little child abuse. And I was a part of the I Vaccinate campaign. We did a commercial that educated providers because there's actual clinics, pediatric clinics that will not allow you to bring your child into their clinic if they are not vaccinated and if you refuse to vaccinate them. They can't come up in here because you are now a threat to the other patients that are healthy because we don't know what you got.
Okay.
Come on with it.
No.
Come
I'm
with
not. I'm not refuting that at all. I'm just thinking in the sense of, it's as a parent. I'm not a parent yet. Would it not be my decision whether or not I want to vaccinate my child or not, regardless of the benefits that come from vaccinations? Because we all realize and understand that. But if, as the parent, I decide I'm not going to vaccinate my child. But I'm just still going to leave them open to acquiring whatever diseases that would have to be something that have to wrestle with and be okay with. But why is it that it's like
that you're shunned?
you get shunned because it's like,
because it's a public health risk. So you're thinking about your child versus where we're thinking about the population. So no one's saying that you can't vaccinate your child. You just have to go somewhere where they're okay with you not vaccinating your child.
And that's I'm not arguing that I would vaccinate my children.
But you won't take it.
I'm thinking from the other side. I'm just thinking from the other side of the just the other side of the coin. Where
And
it
that's
just
what
seems like parents may be getting turned away.
They are.
And it's
Yeah.
hard because it's like if I make a decision to do that, that's like if you don't smoke crack. You can't come to my house because you don't smoke crack.
Well, and that's the prerogative. So just like you have choices where you want to take your child as far as which doctor, you have to go with the doctor willing to see your child. They don't. That's not something they believe in. Now, however, I'm not saying I agree with it. That's why there's the I Vaccinate campaign.
Right.
And I guess the biggest thing that I took home from that whole commercial was it was kind of like an on-air interview as a provider. How do you educate your patients and how do you deal with patients who don't want their child vaccinated? And now what would you how would you educate the providers that won't let them in their offices? How do we come from it from both angles and be compassionate? And my thing is just listen. I get it. And I might not, just like on Facebook, I'm not going to change your mind. You feel very strongly about how you feel.
Right.
I can't make you take the flu shot. I can't. However, I can educate you, and if you're open to it, I'm open to listening to you where you're coming from, and here's some information. Just give me a slow yes instead of a fast no.
No, that's real.
And we
That's
had this
real.
conversation earlier regarding parents who don't vaccinate their children believe that they're doing the right thing for their child. And people who do vaccinate their children feel they're doing the right thing for their child.
Right.
So the only thing we can do, people who believe in vaccines, just give education, not judge the person, and just offer it, every time. And then when Dr. Hoff talked about it being a public risk, for people not to be vaccinated. There's some people who can't take the vaccination, just like Nurse V said, and they're too young to take the vaccination. They may have, different problems with their immunity. So that's putting those people at risk for the people who don't get vaccinated and can get vaccinated.
Yeah.
That's
Especially
right.
when
That's
you have
right.
a newborn in the house.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to bring
whooping
Th-
cough
I mean,
or any of this.
Have you ever seen a child with whooping cough?
No.
They break
No.
ribs. They
Yeah,
cough
cough
so
so
hard.
hard they turn blue
Yeah.
and they break ribs. And I can't. Just looking at my little babies and how helpless and I'm there to protect them.
Mm-hmm.
The only protection I can do is not be sick and not bring. I work in hospital. I'm around all kinds of. I don't even know what I'm around. And to take that home and knowing that I could have prevented it, and then my immune system is great, robust.
Right. But my baby.
But here I
That's a whole nother
come with
ballgame.
the dirty scrubs. You know, you don't know what you're taking home, and now you have given it to a newborn who has no immune system.
Why are you touching your newborn with your dirty?
Let me tell you something.
I'm just kidding.
I might have 10% of it on me, and I might have a little sniffle, a little cough, but I'm good. I can fight it off. But that little baby, you can't. You know,
Or
they
they're
have
very
passive. Yeah, or you have mama or grandma at home who has cancer. And now you done coughed on grandma. Or you cooking and I don't know, whatever it is, you done passed it to your family. If you don't do it for yourself, do it for them.
Somebody else, yeah.
No, that's real. I don't disagree.
That's all.
So get your flu shot for somebody.
Get your flu shot.
Especially if you're working with people's mouths.
That's what I said.
All this.
He look at you know what he said to me.
coming forth.
What you say about them in the waiting room? If I see somebody
if I see
whooping,
him sniffling and coughing, I'll reschedule.
Uh-huh.
I ain't gonna have you hacking and coughing all over me and my car.
And what else?
late
What
then.
about the bump on their lip?
If you got a cold sore, aka herpes, you get to reschedule. No,
And here's
they're trying to give it a smooth name. It's just a cold sore. No, that's herpes.
Oh,
That is
it's true.
Herpes.
It's
Herpes.
one.
You can't get rid of it.
One.
Herpes 1.
And a lot of people have been exposed to herpes 1.
Yeah.
However,
A majority of us have.
99.9%.
Yes.
But let me tell you this. What's right here? The real nurses of Detroit. We can't turn people away when they're sick. Okay.
I'm just saying.
We see it all.
But that
We
kind of
cure it all. We love it all.
To me, that kind of goes back to the question I was having about the parents that don't vaccinate their child. If, as healthcare practitioners, if we're not allowed to turn people away, so to say, from treatment, then if somebody hasn't vaccinated their child, like you said, giving them education, and they have the right to make their own decision. But as a healthcare practitioner, how can I deny somebody care?
Just like you turn away a bump.
Yeah, just
No,
a bump.
I'm not denying them care.
How?
You just gotta reschedule.
You have a very
You're referring-
contagious
But you're referring
disease.
them. You can refer them to another practice that's willing to take care of you, and it's not a lot of clinicians or physicians that
That are
do
doing
that.
that, yeah.
Some patients who don't want to vaccinate their children, they'll say, "Well, let's try an alternate schedule." A lot of clinicians will say, "Let's see what we can do to work with you." But then there are some that says, "You know what? If you choose to come into my practice and spew your germs of pertussis and influenza and everything
I
over
ain't heard pertussis.
Yeah.
That's why you haven't heard it.
That's
Because of
whooping
vaccines.
cough. Yeah.
That's because of vaccines.
Yeah.
That's why you ain't heard it. But you know what?
Tdap.
Pertussis is out there.
Yeah.
Whooping cough. She just said you
Whooping
bring
cough.
it.
Yeah, that's why I said. I ain't heard.
And
the
I'm
scientific-
going to challenge everybody that's watching me all over the United States right now. I know I have some
calling me
Nigerians.
all over the
No,
world.
it's some
Liberia,
Nigerians.
stand up. What's up? Well,
Okay, Liberia.
Nice.
Kenya over here represent. But Nigeria, I know y'all be on here.
I'm
Them Nigerians
from-
be in my DM.
I'm from here in the United States.
We just get on USA one
There
time.
it is.
Oh, we got a new nurse. Come on, nurse.
I'm a new nurse.
No, I'm talking about you just joined the conversation.
Hello,
the real
everybody.
Yeah, because you know how we had to get on him about the flu shot. We talk about the vaccines.
He ain't gonna never take the flu shot.
No.
Sure won't.
It's too many Pisces in this room right now, though. She's like, oh, I'm appalled.
Yes.
All of y'all Pisces.
Leo, baby.
You a Leo?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Here's some hand sanitizer.
No. But you know what? I need to back up a little bit because we didn't do proper introductions up in here. What your let's
I'm going first.
Yeah, you
Consuela.
came in last.
Consuela, can you tell us how you feel about how do you feel about the flu shot? Any vaccine, actually, because we worked in pediatrics together. So,
that's a tough one. Working mother baby now, like I get a lot of women who are not educated about immunizations. They go to Google for everything because it's the millennials, you know. So what they hear is sometimes what they believe. They seek out information on the wrong platforms. They think that if they get their newborn infant immunized, the baby is going to be autistic.
That part.
Yeah. So I encourage them to read, like to get books, not just Google, like what'll happen to my baby if I give them the, I don't know, whatever vaccination.
Or even do you print out anything or give them a reputable website?
We do have printouts, and I'm not sure if websites are actually on the printouts that we give to the moms, but we do give them printouts. Just kind of giving them, it kind of breaks down like the pros and cons of the vaccine, which only at the hospital when they're newborn infants, we just do the Hep B, the erythromycin and the vitamin K. So if they make a decision, to further immunize their child, then that's kind of their decision. We've had some parents refuse the hepatitis B vaccine at delivery.
Schedule?
Oh, wow.
Or just they didn't want it?
They don't want it. Some people, before they get discharged, after they've read some material, maybe talked to a couple people, they're like, okay, I'll do it. So it varies, but this population, the younger population, is very hard to try to educate them because of this social media stuff, and there's so much stuff out there, and they don't realize how much stuff is out there that is not like legit, like it's not real.
So, for instance, and y'all not about to make me cry up in here. I'm gonna just say that right now. But just like with Kobe Bryant's death that happened yesterday, how much information was like, wait, Rick Fox was on the plane?
Right.
His whole family was on the plane?
Yeah.
It was so, I was like,
quickly.
So quick.
Like from one post was 2 minutes ago, and then this post was a minute ago, and it was naming all these other people.
I was
like,
heartbroken because even the daughter, like one of my pages, I have a lot of followers, and the daughter was like, no, we weren't on the plane. I was like, oh, let me take that down. Because it's misinformation that's on there, and it's on purpose. Yeah. People are heartless, and the family was finding out at the same time we were.
Yeah,
that's
the horrible part.
I feel like I don't like
Very
TMZ. And I think because we, again, live in this age with social media, and they get news of a breaking story or something.
That's
that
how they stay relevant.
They get right to it, and they report it. Like they probably reported it before
anybody
Vanessa
knew.
Bryant or any of those other victims' families
Could you
had even
imagine
been finding out, like social media posts or you know what I'm saying? Like that's
horrible.
That's heartbreaking.
The thing is, I can't be mad at TMZ. You know who I am mad at? Whoever the first responder is, or whoever called TMZ. That's a HIPAA
because somebody had to call.
Somebody who was right there at the scene, who knew what was going on, who pulled that body out, called TMZ. You can't be mad at the news or celebrity news sites doing what they do.
But I think you can, because if this crash just happened, these families haven't been notified. Exactly. But you got to give them their
think about it though. If you got a phone call from TMZ, did Kobe die? And you be like, why are you pranking my phone? Get off my phone.
Right. You got to take into consideration he was on a somewhat private.
It was
helicopter.
his helicopter.
Yeah. So once that helicopter goes down, the FAA, whoever's guiding that they know something happened. They know who's on board.
Yeah. That's true.
So that would probably be the first people who would say something.
Yeah.
Now, if they call TMZ, that's just...
Or, people got those police scanners, too.
True.
nosy.
But
They probably
with
a
the police-
cancer
But even with
too,
the police
'cause
scanner, they don't.
don't
All
know
you
who's
can
on
see is
board.
a helicopter
Right.
crashed
Down,
over
right.
here, but you don't know who
was
Who's on
belonged
it?
to.
Yeah.
So
So let me give some proper introductions. I'm being really rude tonight. Why are you laughing?
that's everything.
Shady. It's shady. Y'all throwing palm trees up in here. It's real shady.
It's because it's too many Pisces in here.
It is.
It is.
Wow. Please don't let me mess up. Dr. Hoff.
There you go.
We're going to go
Dr.
there.
Hoff.
There you
This
go.
is Dr. Hoff, family nurse practitioner. She is highly educated.
Say that again. Highly.
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 That Holy Ghost is up in there.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Highly.
She got a doctorate, y'all. She's a doctor like you, doctor. Yay.
Damn.
Amen.
Damn.
Hey,
Work
hallelujah.
hard, play hard.
Should have bought a Honda. But she has. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not trying to laugh. I said y'all not gonna make me cry today because
gonna make you cry.
I stay silly. But I was actually crying. Like I had to take bereavement today. Don't look at me like that.
I feel like today should have been a bereavement.
For
day.
real.
Seriously. And I met Kobe Bryant one time
In person.
in person.
How old was he?
This was probably like 2008.
Okay.
So it's been a while, but like the emotion that I felt and that I still feel. It's just like he was family, like he was my cousin or something.
We
you know,
grew
like I
up together,
knew
though.
him. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's
You know what gets me most is thinking
heartbreaking.
about those last moments
Oh.
of those people on that helicopter,
Yeah.
I need a
knowing
drink.
that it was inevitable,
Yeah.
and that you had to. I can just imagine them
Him
holding on to
embracing
each other.
Yeah.
That's the part when you know you have no way out.
You're,
Yeah.
you're
I don't even
helpless.
know I'm just thinking about what I've heard. I don't even know if they had an opportunity
No, you
because
see.
they were flying through like.
But then you
there
hear
was
like a
fog.
sputter on the engine,
They
and
said
then
they
it
was
just
sputtering.
started spiraling down. Oh God! It's like it looks like a canyon like area.
I don't know. All I know is that they were flying through like heavy fog, and I don't know if the pilot could, because I mean, once you get in the fog, you can't see nothing until you.
I
right
mean,
up
what you
on
gonna
it.
do?
But
But
if
my
you're
thing it was
flying that
flying,
way-
and then it just went down, and I'm like, what just happened?
But
Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
I
haven't
didn't watch
seen-
it.
I
I just
haven't
can
seen- but-
imagine what happened
It was
right before
instant.
impact.
Yeah.
It was instant. Like people were crying. They're like, you could hear the people were right
wait,
there.
wait. Where did you go to hear this?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm like Wendy Williams out here. I can
I'm like,
research
where's
anything.
You didn't call TMZ, did you?
I was in Detroit, Michigan at the time of the accident. No, I ain't no snitch.
Like for real though. Where did you go to hear this? Because
I will
I
post
have
it.
not.
I have
posted a
it
few times
all
on
over
Facebook.
the Real Nurse of Detroit page. I put everything, all the evidence, and it's on my story. I have I really, because I was on the show yesterday, and we were discussing it. So I really wanted to be real well versed in what happened. I want to get a helicopter expert, a pilot, because I'm in military health, so a lot of those guys work on planes. So I would really like to know, what do they think happened, because you really hear a sputter, and it just dropped. And I'm like, wow, something happened with that engine. And my thing, and it just burst into it was like what just, it was unbelievable. And people are instantly crying like, oh my God. And they're videotaping it. You can see it all. It was right there. Like they weren't that far from landing. That's the horrible part. But Dr. Huff, can I introduce? Come on, y'all. Y'all keep interrupting me. Y'all so rude. She's a board-certified family nurse practitioner who provides health care to patients of all ages, races, background.
Read that whole thing.
Thank you. She cool, y'all. I like her. She cool. She says she a Leo, and she from Liberia, West Africa. Hey, that's my African sister. Hey, Baba clap, clap, clap. Yeah.
Did that just happen?
It did.
That's the guys must be crazy. You ever saw that?
I used to love that movie.
I love that movie.
That little man with the little
with the Coke bottle.
Yeah, with the
That's
Coke
why we
bottle.
shaped like a Coke bottle. What? You
my
get your
dude.
African
Say,
sister in
you
your
take
life.
this, you take this thing back.
Oh, by the way, Dr. Gordon's back on the market. Oh, sorry. Did I?
Oh wow.
It's silent. Hello? Hi. Hello? He's so embarrassed. He's back on the market.
Yeah.
He's on Bumble, y'all.
Yeah. I got taken off the shelf for a quick second.
Aww.
Put
And then
back
put
on
back
the
up
shelf.
on the shelf.
He's single, y'all.
Well, that's
Call
all right.
in.
That just mean I wasn't the one.
Oops.
Moving right along.
Hey, it
Better to
happens.
know now than
Yeah.
5
That's
years
true.
from now,
Yeah.
a
It's
marriage
true.
from now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Kids
yeah,
from now.
Yeah.
So
It's
the
a
better.
word.
Amen.
Anyways.
Amen. I received that.
What else can I tell you about Dr. Hoff?
SheTheBomb.com.
Hey. Okay. Hey, girl. Hey. But she is very knowledgeable in vaccines. Please tell me how to say this. The company. Do you want to shout out the company?
No, I work for a vaccine company, but I've been a nurse practitioner since 2002.
I
And I
interviewed with you. Do you remember me?
No.
Yes, I did. I did.
When?
I was working at occupational health at a company that we both worked at. I think she works there. Why you didn't hire me, girl? She didn't hire me though. She didn't hire me. Like, I put her on black.
Don't you love it when people have to make you remember that you know them?
What I do, but what I
You remember
know,
when I interviewed? No, I really don't. I
Yeah,
don't
small
remember that.
world, ain't
Yes,
it?
you do.
Yeah,
world.
yeah. I wanted to get out that department so bad.
Girl.
But it was a good experience. It was a great organization.
Moving right along. Don't get sidetracked.
I'm sad.
Yeah.
Amen.
Look at you now.
Yes. Look. Aren't
No.
you glad I didn't hire you?
I am.
And now you're a lifeguard on Miami Beach.
You know, let me tell you a funny story about that. We would go to Africa every 1 to 2 years when I was younger. Both my parents are from Kenya. So her thing was my mother would drown in a bathtub of water. She was so scared of water, literally. Like she got in the pool one time and it came to her knees. She's like, "Oh God, I'm drowning." I was like, "Stand up." I was like 10, like, "Can you stand up?" She's like, "Oh." So, but her thing was she had this fear of water. So she was like, if the plane were to go down, I want to know that you guys will be okay. So I'm going to make you be a lifeguard. So by the age of 12, I was a lifeguard. That was my first job.
Wow.
So I was destined. This is my destiny.
To be a lifeguard in Miami.
Right.
Yeah, like Baywatch. I was destined to be take care of people. Yeah, so I could do CPR. But let me tell you, I ain't gonna lie, I was up there at the city pool, and I was falling asleep with my shades on. I would go to sleep. I mastered sitting like this, sleeping. But nobody drowned though. Them kids was running, and I got on them. I was like, "You better stop running. Get from around here. Going over there. Where your mama at?"
From around?
Yeah, and I would blow the whistle. Like that. Like that's why I'm obsessed with this bell. I would blow my whistle. I wish I had a whistle right now.
No. Everybody like no.
No, too short. You don't need a whistle.
Blow the whistle. No, but it was great. And so her fear became a strength for all of us. I'm the oldest of 4, and all of us are lifeguards. And that was my first job, and I made good money. You couldn't tell me nothing. Okay, I was making $15 an hour at 12 years old.
Wow.
Can't
Yeah.
tell that to nothing.
That translated into the sports. Swimming. That's like the best sport ever to translate to anything. So it made me a better runner, made me a better basketball player. And then I was just like, I don't want to do this no more. You're making me do this. And you know how when you're a teenager.
You started rebelling.
I did. Then I worked at service merchandise.
Oh Lord.
I was all that. You couldn't tell me nothing. Okay. Then I went to Bally's, and then I went to college. So, yeah. But I miss it. Now my kids are swimming, and I'm claiming that I'm kind of a lifeguard though, right? We all are.
Yeah.
Not you.
oral guard.
I'm the oral like.
I didn't want to say that.
Now, if you turning people away with a bum bump or a cough,
I ain't trying to get that.
wow.
That's right.
Wow.
I gotta protect my team.
Wow.
Flu vaccines can protect your team.
Ooh.
But when if
we
I'm
would come.
sick,
We would be
Whoa, whoa,
more.
whoa,
Stop! Don't
Stop,
stop!
I say if I'm sick, I don't come to work.
Oh,
But you know what?
That's another.
Some
we talked
people don't
about that.
exhibit the symptoms once they're carrying a virus and still not sick.
Ooh. And we're gonna talk about that.
That's-
Transition right into
That's
the
why
corona.
everybody carrying something.
It's true. I mean, the coronavirus has a 14-day incubation period, but we're gonna talk about that. Let me introduce our other guest. You sound like a spiritual.
Because we waiting on you to introduce.
Wait, stop rushing me. How y'all doing? Y'all grieving? Y'all need grief counseling? Does anybody?
Yes.
I saw that on Facebook. They were saying the kids, you know, when you have somebody that you look up to, like there's a lot of celebrities that are dying. And you know, I'm concerned. Somebody need to check on Lil Wayne because his new album's called Funeral. He got like a microphone with his head like he's in a casket. I think he next.
Say no to drugs.
Don't say that.
No, for real.
Don't speak that into the atmosphere.
I didn't do it.
Just saying.
I'm just telling you the facts.
He's gonna live.
And not die.
In the name of Jesus. He
Lord
shall
have
live and
mercy.
not die.
Amen.
Amen. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Holly Weird, but there's a lot going
You said
on.
Holly weird.
Yeah, no, for real. Like they are. It's almost like, and it was eerie because even Kobe, that picture with him and LeBron, where he said he's passing on the torch.
And because that was the night before, I think like
He passed his
LeBron
shooting.
surpassed his
Record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His
So
current
like his
title.
last Instagram post was just like, wow. It was like he was
Predating
well.
his death.
I don't want to say predating his death, but I just like he was now passing on the torch to somebody else. You know, it just kind of
We only
When you
pass on
read it, it's just
torches when
kinda-
we dying. No.
no, but it no,
Michael Jordan
not
didn't do that.
necessarily. Like you
Not
could just be
necessarily
moving on.
to the
Like
next level.
he's now
Somebody's
coaching
taking your
his
spot.
daughter. Yeah, so
Yeah.
somebody is trying to be as great as you were or are, and you're doing something totally different. Doesn't mean that you're leaving the earth. It just means that now
I
you're
got some
traveling a
conspiracy
different avenue.
theories
I
about
don't like
that.
conspiracy theories.
I do though. See, this is where the
Come
Pisces
on.
I
in
don't.
you coming out right
Look,
now.
I
come
don't.
on, let's be real. If
Yeah.
you're in sports, any record that you make is bound to be broken.
Yes.
Of course.
Anything is achievable, and it's just. I mean,
Happens.
You ask me the way things have changed in the NBA, the way, like scoring titles back in the day, the way they guard each other is different now. So it's easier to make score more points. But at the end of the day, I don't think he was preceding.
Yeah.
Anything like that.
No,
It's just
I don't either.
I wouldn't.
I think it
even-
was just a congratulatory post and
Yeah.
an untimely death
Yeah.
followed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so tragic.
Yeah.
That is, yeah.
Okay, Nurse Nakia, did I say it right? Nakia Davis, affectionately known as the kidney nurse, is a nephrology nurse working with patients with end-stage kidney disease at a major hospital system in Detroit area. She has been nephrology. She has been in nephrology for over 20 years, starting her career out as a certified hemodialysis clinical technician. That's a big word, girl. Okay, you making me wait a minute. I ain't got no glasses. Okay. Then a certified nephrology nurse, and now currently a student nurse practitioner.
All right.
Yes! Climb the ladder, girl. She is involved in several professional nursing organizations and holds, excuse me, class.
I'm sorry. I was
I
just
gotta agree
remarking
with
that
him.
she
We
had
like lemonade
she had
from
lemonade from
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A, and I've been looking at.
Next time.
I was just gonna knock it off
Lemonade
the table.
on me next time.
Okay.
All right.
This is what I'm talking about. This that Pisces stuff that I'm talking about.
I wasn't even saying nothing.
You were over
Don't
there
make me
stalling.
come
I was
over
just
there.
trying to make you know.
I'm reading a bio. You're being very rude to our guests
Sorry,
right now.
I apologize.
And you don't have to read it all either.
I'm going to read it. 'Cause
Reading is fundamental.
she is involved in the American Nephrology Nurses Association, where she serves on the board as a health policy representative, educating the community on laws that affect individuals affected with kidney disease. Throughout the year, she travels to Washington, D.C. to educate our lawmakers on how legislation impacts kidney patients and donors. The American Nurses Association in Michigan, where she serves on the board as a secretary, and has served as a panelist for the professional issues on moral resilience and end nurse abuse. Oh, I like that. Advisory committees, as well as the Nursing and Health Policy Committee. Lastly, Chi Chi 85 Sorority Incorporated, a professional nursing organization where she is active in the community, educating on the impacts of high blood pressure prevention and management. You would love that, huh? You need her on your team.
Amen.
He checks blood pressures before you can sit in his chair.
Oh, that's good.
Ain't that good?
She can't
I
walk
was
on nobody's
impressed.
mouth if they
Blood pressure and glucose.
Yeah. I was very impressed.
You asked them
Yeah.
if they had their flu shots.
No.
You doing that assessment right
You ain't
there?
about to
Yeah.
show up with
I can ask them if they ain't take it. I'm gonna be like, you can't be seen here. You're not vaccinated. I can't see you. No.
Boo. Cut his mic off. Well, thank you, Nakia, for coming.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to transition right into the coronavirus that everybody's all scared about. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, I did a little research on the virus because it's new to us over here in the U.S. So the virus is carried by animals that can be transmitted to humans, and then humans can transmit it to each other. The originating...
Is it specific animals, or can it be like a cat or a dog? Because I'm like, how do
What they were saying is like birds and...
Seafood
And bats.
and
Yes.
bats. Yeah.
so how?
We're going to
okay.
get to that. Save
Okay.
your questions
Yeah.
for the end.
I will. I'm listening.
Okay.
So it originated in Wuhan, China, which was the origination point of SARS back then in
Yes.
2002.
Which is also known as the
Bird.
beta
Oh.
coronavirus. Not to be confused. Get it, girl.
And that virus had killed 800 people worldwide. So we know it's in, China, Macau, Thailand, Taiwan, Japan, South Korea, U.S. So 4 states in the U.S. have been confirmed, which is Washington State, Illinois, somebody in Chicago had it, Southern California, Arizona. Then Vietnam, Singapore, Malaysia, Nepal, France, Australia, and Canada. And so, like Nurse V said, the incubation period is 14 days. When you contract the virus, it's similar to like a cold. Sometimes people will have the virus and not know if they have a cold, which is caused by the rhinovirus or by the coronavirus. So it ranges from mild to lethally.
Wow.
So it just really depends on, we spoke about earlier, different people are susceptible to different diseases and viruses differently. Their bodies respond differently. So maybe the very young, the very old, and immunocompromised people. So if you have other,
Health
comorbidities,
issues, yes.
your immune system will be a little lower, which your body would react different if you contract it.
So, like she said, there was incubation period of 14 days. So you could have traveled to China 14 days, 2 weeks ago, come back, and now you're starting to get the fever, the cough, you're short of breath, and that's about 8 days after you've contracted it. And then you have your imaging on your chest x-rays, you have infiltrate. And 20% of the people who contract it do develop critical illness, meaning on a respiration, like a respirator, you're in the ICU, it's life or death. And you can go into respiratory failure, organ failure, septic shock. And the most fatal cases are 73% of them are men. Men are, and they're at the median age is 49 years old. Yeah, with comorbidities. So they may have
Heart
diabetes,
disease, kidney disease,
anything.
diabetes, anything.
anything else going on. So they're older. However, you know, the young is always at risk. But yeah, what else?
So can I comment a little bit on that? The alpha and the beta are the only ones that can be transferred to humans. So with the MERS, which is the one that was found in Saudi Arabia, which is the cousin of SARS, and now you have
Yes.
this current new strain that's come up. So what's happening is it was initially just from animal to animal, like Nakia and Nurse V said, but now what happened in Wuhan is that it was at a seafood market,
Yes.
and they people were getting sick in the area, and they were finally doing the chest imaging and everything, and found that they since contaminated decontaminated the area, but it's been because of the respiratory, it's affecting so many people. So that's what the concern is. And what I see a lot of, I cover some different states. So one thing that a lot of, and I was just talking about this, a lot of universities are looking to increase their international student population. And with international travel, when you're looking at some of these states, and then how much, when you think about the air flight patterns that now people are going to Dubai, people are going everywhere, and the accessibility to get somewhere, it's more affordable, it's quicker, and so you're going to see a lot of concern. So now the U.S. is actually testing people at the borders when they're coming in, but there's these cases that she's mentioned that are still coming through because
The
of the
incubation
14-day
period. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
period,
Like if you're tested and you're in the incubation period, nothing is going to show, right?
Right. Unless you have
'Cause you're not-
sometimes people depending on where you are with your symptomology, it may present itself as a mild cold or a runny nose or something, a cough or something. The MERS had a GI component to it when it came about with Saudi Arabia. So they were having stomach problems, different things like that. So now it's such a, you've got these three now that are is almost an epidemic is what they're saying now. When you're thinking about what's going on. And one thing that was, because third world countries don't always share their data or the science that they're getting from these outbreaks and viruses. So a lot of I was reading a lot of the U.S. JAMA, a lot of the journal articles are saying now they're glad because they finally were able to look at the actual genome or the structure of the virus to try and figure out what's going on. But since then, it's spread.
So it's going to mutate.
And I did hear that China's underreporting their deaths related to the virus as well.
Which is unfortunate.
One of the medical professionals, I think she may have been a nurse, who got on but disguised herself, and she said there's dead bodies everywhere. So I don't know if that's true because I didn't get it from a reputable source, but.
But to piggyback off of that, and that's what the U.S. is saying, they need more transparency. What's actually affecting people in China, because you got it's showing up here, and you got people over here, or you got these increased study abroad programs and different things that they're working on they were working on a vaccine for this virus, but there's not one. It takes about 20 years to actually manufacture a vaccine. But now, because of what happened with SARS and MERS, they are trying to fast track that into a 5-year period. So just because of the epidemic that could occur worldwide, not even
shave 15 years off of making it.
Well, some of the stuff that happens is looking at other research that's been out there. So if you are, let's say if you're making or manufacturing a vaccine, and there's someone that has done similar research, the FDA will allow you to utilize some of that research to pick up where you left off. So they call it fast tracking, and it's always fast track when there is an epidemic. So you don't want to wait 20 years to get you got to figure out a way to do it, but then that may be some complicated.
That's what I was just going to say. Like, so do you really know what you're getting, though, when you get this?
For this particular virus, they said it's so similar to SARS that they expect even the replication and the mutation period to be the same. So maybe they'll use some of that data.
And that's some of the data.
SARS.
Exactly what Nakia said. They're using that data. What would you rather have, death or something that could, just like the Ebola virus, you know, what happened with that. And there's the Ebola vaccine, there's the Zika, because they all came about because they were looking at these diseases in the lab. And all of a sudden, here they are showing up.
There it is.
Yeah.
Whoop, there.
That would kind of scare me though, because I could see, you know, I'm on the fence. So you know they have HIV. Is it an HIV vaccine?
They're working
like
on the
PrEP.
HIV. Well,
Yeah,
the
PrEP
PrEP,
is-
that's
PrEP
not a
is
vaccine.
different.
That's,
Yeah, that's different.
That's not a
Prophylactic.
vaccine. Yeah.
But
PrEP
they're
and PEP.
working on some of these different
They're
vaccines.
working on vaccines for gonorrhea and chlamydia.
Wow.
Oh, and it's a lot of that rampant because what?
Wow.
Is it?
Wait, what?
So
Is
when you,
increase now?
What?
man,
Gonorrhea
when I used to work
and
for
HSV.
it's on the rise.
I won't say where I work, but
Mhm.
I used to work for a school-based health center.
at least
Oh, wow.
I'd say a good 75-80%.
Oh,
and
yeah.
sometimes the women, they don't know
Of course.
about the HSV until
You know,
we tell them.
I worked for a university and I loved it because I had my microscope right there and I was like, come on over here. I want to show you something. What you see up in there swimming? And she saw Trick. Not the rapper.
Not the rapper. I was gonna say not the rapper.
Trick. You know, she saw them little worms. I'm like, yeah, that's from
Yeah,
you.
She had a goon squad up.
Woo wee. Green and stinking. I said, that's you, boo. Why is you what? And
You can't take that right now. That's what real nurses in Detroit do.
That's why I went into dentistry.
But
We
it's
look
all
at-
in the mouth.
They
They
got
got
oral
we have,
It can, yes.
I treated oral gonorrhea and
Huh?
chlamydia.
You don't
I've
swab the
never
mouth?
seen that.
We
Oh,
swab
it's
all
so common.
orifices.
It's so common. because-
Everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
Everywhere? Everywhere.
Every hole. that has
Every
an open-
hole.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I get it.
I believe it. I believe it.
I don't need the graphic detail. I understand what's going on.
No, I mean, so I want to transition a little bit because y'all giggling and stuff.
Wait, can I ask a question? Is there anything that talks about you mentioned that the strain can be mild or very severe. Do they have any idea of how, like the severity of it or what makes one case less severe than another? Or
I would just say it is the individual, and how they respond, and then the severity, like I said, death. But it can lead to bronchitis, pneumonia, and those other things, which we know can cause death as well. And the only thing they could do is supportive treatment. Ways to prevent is, washing your hands, just basic things for transmission
Getting
of
your
viruses.
flu shot.
Covering your cough.
Cover your cough.
Cover your cough.
I don't think the flu shot's gonna cover that.
So we're just gonna pay our respects and listen to a snippet of Kobe Bryant's Dear Basketball.
Dear basketball. From the moment I started rolling my dad's tube socks and shooting imaginary game-winning shots in the Great Western Forum, I knew one thing was real. I fell in love with you. A love so deep, I gave you my all. From my mind and body to my spirit and soul. As a 6-year-old boy and deeply in love with you, I never saw the end of the tunnel. I only saw myself running out of one. And so I ran. I ran up and down every court after every loose ball for you. You asked for my hustle. I gave you my heart. Because it came with so much more. I played through the sweat and the hurt. Not because challenge called me, but because you called me. I did everything for you. Because that's what you do when someone makes you feel as alive as you've made me feel. You gave a 6-year-old boy his Laker dream. And I'll always love you for it. But I can't love you obsessively for much longer. This season is all I have left to give. My heart can take the pounding. My mind can handle the grind. But my body knows it's time to say goodbye. And that's okay. I'm ready to let you go. I want you to know now, so we both can savor every moment we have left together. The good and the bad. We have given each other all that we have. And we both know, no matter what I do next, I'll always be that kid with the rolled up socks, garbage can in the corner, 5 seconds on the clock, ball in my hands. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Love you always, Kobe.
Kobe was born 1978. He graduated in 1996, and at the age of 17, he entered the NBA. And we love Kobe. And he had a quote that said, "Heroes come and go, but legends are forever." He was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. He will be inducted. And our hearts go out to his family and all of the 7 other souls that were on that plane, including his daughter. Thoughts. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to do it. But I think the biggest thing that I got from this whole situation is we did a show on PTSD and healthcare and firefighters, and we go through this. And people on Facebook were saying how can you cry for somebody you didn't know? But we cry for your mom and your dad and your baby and everybody that we don't know. And then we got to go back to work like this. Like, I'm a hot mess. I need a drink. Y'all know about that.
You know, the other thing, too, while you taking your sip, is that
Go ahead, Liberian girl.
is that people get on social media and blatantly ask you to send prayers up for someone that you don't know, or sharing the loss of someone, and you, because of what's in you, gravitate to that person or that situation, and
Love
have
on
some
them.
emotion to that, whether or not it's just your friend on Facebook that you never met in person, but you support them.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing. And we may not have known Kobe personally, but I remember when he went to the NBA. I remember, you grew with him.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I was a sophomore. I graduated in 99. He graduated in 96. And I was like, I'm going to be real transparent. Because, people are usually a LeBron versus Kobe. Because, people like Kobe with the fadeaway. But we're like, oh, nah, LeBron's stats are better. It was always, or it was the era before that was Michael Jordan versus Kobe as far as stats. But after all the competition is said and gone, you can't do nothing but respect him. Because people are like, oh, he was cocky. He didn't pass the ball. Okay, and do you respect the game? Do you respect the man who scored 81 points or no?
Right.
You can't do nothing but respect him.
Right.
I don't care if you don't mess with the Lakers. I'm a Pistons fan to the day I die.
Bless your heart.
I'm sorry for you.
Wait a minute.
Bless your heart.
Hello?
I'm
Hello?
a
Hi.
Lions
I'm kidding.
But I'm saying, my thing is, like, you have to love and respect the man that loved his family. He did the best he can. He did.
Yeah,
We
he did.
all make mistakes, and we
Oh, yeah.
all do the best we can. So we, in death and in life, I think that this, I don't know what the purpose is. I don't. However, I hope this wakes people up. And I'm not here to preach to nobody and say do this and get your life right. But I don't know if we just don't get that life is, because I know we get it. We're in the healthcare field. We see people here today, gone tomorrow. But as a collective that are not in such a popular, profession like we are, where we deal with life and death on a daily basis, it's easy to take people for granted. And then we we're sad, like, what? No, not him. Anybody but him. No, every one of us is on the way to the grave. You know that, right? We all closer to the grave than we not. So when do we stop being so petty? I'm tired of the Real Housewives.
Girl.
I said it.
I don't even watch it.
I don't care.
Never. I have never.
I don't do.
I don't do the and I don't do the
It's just
drama.
too much.
I don't do it at all. Like, why? And I can feel the heaviness. Like, you go on Facebook, you be like, I can't.
And I had to just
I can't.
log off because that's what everybody is talking about. That's what
Exactly.
everybody is posting in pictures. But something that as I was driving here, I was listening to Darlene McCoy, and she had Pastor Charles Jenkins on the show, and they were talking about what happened yesterday and the families that were affected, and she was asking him, like, what do you think this has done to the world? Because it has affected everybody in some shape, form, or fashion. And he said what he's noticed, like just within the last little less than 24 hours, people have been like text messaging and emailing him, like, I reached out to my sister who I haven't talked to in 4 years. I apologized to, maybe somebody that I fell out with 6 months ago, and so forth and so on. So he's, he was saying he just hopes that people would, like, this would kind of, I don't want to say wake us up, because we know we have to leave here. And I think each and every one of us takes life for granted. We think that when we lay down at night, we're going to get up in the morning. We don't anticipate, oh, I'm not going to wake up, or my mom is not going to wake up, or my child is not going to wake up. We plan our day. We plan our week. We plan vacations, and we don't know if we're going to be here or not.
Right.
But he was just saying that he hopes that this encourages people to, if you have some unsevered ties or something that you need to kind of apologize for, or maybe that people will do that and just, kind of love on each other a little bit more. And I thought that was interesting because, like you said, people are so petty now, and people will stop talking to you for the smallest thing. And then
I just think that this generation, our generation, I don't want to say selfish, but I'm gonna say selfish.
That's all. That's real,
Yeah.
though.
They're
That's
quick
real
to
talk.
run. They don't want to work things out. They don't want to fix things. It's like, oh, this ain't working for me. I'm out of here.
We don't want to feel.
Oh, you don't agree with me? I don't want to talk to you. Oh, you don't
Right.
want this? I don't want to deal with it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's just like they don't want to deal with it.
What I find is a lot of the younger population, they don't know what consequences, with
Or
not
accountability.
with not dealing with something. It's,
Yeah.
it's not you can't just throw your hands up in the air and not deal with situations, because there are consequences, and you have to be accountable.
Yeah.
But that's something that they lack. A lot of our millennials, they feel like, okay, well, next.
I still got life to live.
Right.
I'll get,
I think we're
It's-
numb. We're numb until something like this happens, but then we forget.
Yeah, that's one
We
thing.
quickly forget. As soon as that person's put in the ground, we like, okay, well,
Everybody at the repast like, yeah, give me your number. We got to keep in touch. We got to stop meeting like this.
Right.
And then the next time you see them is because
You meeting like
it's
this.
somebody else and we
Another
meeting like this.
Yeah.
It's
sad.
It is.
I always say,
is.
all we gonna do is eat chicken.
Right.
You know, unfortunately.
Ain't gonna
And you
be-
look, what you?
Who cooked it though? That's what I want to know.
I'm sure it wasn't
the usher?
Popeyes.
What?
I'm sure it wasn't Popeyes.
He coming for me. Shots fired.
I'm not talking about you. I'm still
You be
still
always
mad.
talking about me on
I'm
the radio.
still
I was
mad
eating
that
some
I'm still mad that
one
Popeyes
time.
ran out of chicken on that chicken sandwich.
I still haven't had the chicken sandwich.
I haven't had it either
I
for that
wasn't
very
going looking
reason.
for it either.
I went looking high and
I
low,
was like, this foolery.
and they just a handwritten sign. We ain't got no more chicken.
It just ain't no chicken.
So one
like
of
a
my
hospital with no
conspiracy
doctors.
theories. Well, let me go down Kobe's stats first. I'm sorry. Just a few. He was a 5-time NBA champ, 2-time MVP in NBA Finals. In 2008, he was the NBA MVP. One of his quotes that they said last night were, "Good people don't have haters, but great ones do." And so he embraced his haters. But he's a Virgo, so that's what they do. I digress. He said it was bigger than basketball. And I say that to say because we are all here, like when they have a mission and you go to the moon, you have a mission in this life. It's up to you to figure out what that is. And I believe that Kobe, I think the ones that accomplish so much, like LeBron and Kobe, that you accomplish so much at a young age. You do the best that you possibly can. You eat and drink and sleep and do nursing and basketball or whatever, and you make a mark and a legacy for yourself and your family and for years and years to come. When that mission is complete, it's time to go. And we don't know the day nor the hour. And at the younger ages, in our young 30s, 40s, 20s, the highest, the cause of death is accidents. And this is not, I don't know, could it have been prevented? I don't know. Hindsight is always 20/20. We have a lot of theories of what could have been done. But what I do know about the helicopter, it's one of the safest helicopters. The Queen has a helicopter. Queen Elizabeth has a helicopter similar to that helicopter that he owns. It is also used for life flights from the hospital. Same helicopter. It looks kind of military-ish. It's a very safe helicopter.
And he used it a lot. I was looking at an interview that he did with somebody, and they were just asking him, like, why the helicopter?
Yeah.
And he said because, he got caught in traffic one day and he missed
she was telling me
one
that.
of his baby's, like, plays or
Plays,
something. And he was just like, I got to figure out another way. And he said it was just quicker to kind of get to his
there.
kids. He said, because, when you've been playing basketball and you're on the road and all of that, he said his wife would tell him, like, oh, I'll pick him up from school. He's like, no, I want to do it because he said if it's just 20 minutes in the car with them, or whatever, I want that time. And so he felt like he was wasting time sitting in traffic. And
that says a lot of how much he loved his family.
yes, it does.
And
I
his
was just like,
kids.
wow.
See, there's good men out here. Where y'all at, though?
Hello.
Hello? Oh, you single, too? Woo! Not you. Right here, this part of the table. Y'all want to give out your social media?
Follow me at.
You remember Michael Jackson, Liberian girl? That's the Liberian girl that he was talking about. I used to pretend it was me. And I was like, dang, mama, why we couldn't be from Liberia, though? She's like, because we not, though. I love Michael Jackson, though. But this is up there with deaths. And I thought it was ironic. Like, this is up there with Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston type of death. Like, this stops the world.
I read something, and I don't know how
The
true it is because I yes,
Yes, honey.
I don't really
Yes.
I
do.
pay attention to
I
that.
do.
But people were saying like,
They said Whitney.
yeah,
The day of, I actually drove by the hotel where Whitney passed when I went. And it's funny because 2 years ago, I was in LA in a helicopter, living my bestest life. I was so scared. Because I'm on this, I just got divorced. We going on the helicopter, girl. And that helicopter, when I was like, okay, I want to get out. I want to get out now. But we went over Vegas and it was cool, but it is a little nerve wracking. But it's, but anyways, so we drove past in LA, Whitney's hotel where they held the Grammys. And she passed the day before the Grammys. And the Grammys was yesterday. And what happens? Kobe passed the day before the Grammys. Isn't it ironic? Listen, I don't believe in irony. I mean, the probability and what the p-values. We're a little nerdy.
Wow.
That's
Only a nerd would get that.
I'm highly educated.
I don't even like statistics like that.
Okay. I tested out a statistics.
P-value.
Yeah. 0.01. Okay. It's highly likely.
No hypothesis.
I hypothesize.
Y'all bringing me back to my thesis. It's just damage all day.
Right. But I mean, is it a coincidence? What y'all think? Is this a coincidence?
I think it's coincidence. I don't believe in those conspiracy theories.
I don't either.
I don't
I don't
either.
either.
But it's just.
You know what? You remember Aaliyah's death? That was another tragic.
And I didn't look to see
Aaliyah,
when that happened.
Left Eye.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, it's been some
so
tragic
many.
ones.
Yeah.
So many.
Yeah.
And speaking of how it's funny to me, I said this on social media. It's funny how death reminds you to live.
Exactly.
Oh.
And I said that too.
Yeah.
But is that a quote from Nicki Minaj? No, it was a Drake. Everybody dies, but not everybody lives.
He said, but not everybody
Not.
lives. But death reminds you. It's
To live.
reminding us. You see all these tweets and everybody telling people they love them. But you're right. I'm sorry. How long is this gonna last? Because
Exactly.
right.
Yeah. But if you've ever lost somebody close to you, it is like, especially if it's sudden. And I always, because I think it makes you reflect, and maybe it hurts. I can't say if it hurts more or less, but when I lost my dad, remember we had that flood in 2014. My dad was one of two people that died in the flood in Oak Park in the car, and I was just like, what? I was so numb. I didn't wrap my head around it. I couldn't I saw him right there, and I was like, no, he's asleep. He all right. Daddy, get up. And I'm a whole nurse. Actually had just finished my nurse practitioner, and it was just like, what? Huh? And I really didn't start the grieving process because I had so much to do. He wanted to be buried in Africa, and we had to do 2 funerals, and I'm the oldest of 4, so everybody's like, when's the funeral? When's the funeral? It was just too much, and it was just like, wait, leave me alone. And I still went to work every day, and everybody was like, I'm sorry. And I will tell you one thing, and I think Kobe's from another country. Isn't he does he have Italian roots or something like
I
that?
think he was born. I don't want to misquote, but I think he was born
In
in
Italy?
Italy or something like
Yeah.
that.
I think so too.
Yeah, so it's different with different cultures. See, in in Kenya, I can only speak for one country, we celebrate life. And I guess I have a different perspective with some of the people. Like, I've seen so many different posts where, who cares? Bringing up his negative past when he was on trial. And in my culture, when you come home, and that was the one thing I was scared of. When we come home, I don't know who's gonna get on that mic and what they gonna say. And it could be anybody. My dad, he was 72. So it could be somebody from when he was 14 and they come up there accusing, I can't stand him because he did such to me when I was 16. And you'd be like, oh my God. I was scared for anybody to say anything negative because I would have tackled them. I would have been out of character. And we would have both been in that casting that day. But I mean, it was different. Here, it was so sad. You could feel how thick and how sorry, and everybody really was sorry, but they didn't know what to say. They did not know what to say. And I was talking to my friend yesterday. I think the most comforting thing that people did, not what they said, because you don't remember what people say. I think somebody came and they cleaned my mom's house, and they brought us food. I remember each person who did something, anything. I don't got nothing for you, but let me do this. Let me do that. And it was like, I couldn't do it. Yeah. I could only do so much. I couldn't be there for my mom, like, because we were all grieving. We still are. But when we went to Africa, it was a party, like a for real party for 4 days straight. People was outside. It was a DJ. It was a band. It was a and I was like, can they go home? People was on the ground. Everybody slept and they stayed. They surround you. You are surrounded by people. You can't even grieve because there's so many people. Women were just on the floor. Everybody, I'm sleeping right here by your mama. I'm not letting her go nowhere. And you're surrounded by love. And people, my cousin was like, I'm right here with you. You need to cry, go ahead and cry, but I'm right here. And I love that. I love that. And I think people forget that. I think you stay around, like right now, everybody's like, dang, that's messed up, man. I can't believe it. You crying and you in your feelings. Right. And then you go home and go to work and go through the motions, and then the funeral happens and he's in the ground, and then everybody just kind of goes about their way. And that's kind of when the grieving starts. So I really feel for his family.
I do too. Yeah. Because for years, I think we've all heard, them say that he didn't have a really good relationship with his parents after them trying to like sell some of his memorabilia or whatever. And I just, even if they didn't talk, even if they reconciled it, I don't know. But I just like pray for them because Vanessa's not the only one that suffered a loss. Like he had a mother, he had a father, he had 2 sisters, and nobody is really talking about them. But he was somebody's child, not just somebody's husband and father. Also,
and then we have to, recognize the other people. I mean,
definitely.
there was an assistant basket, which I give all props because I'm a basketball coach, and so the husband wrote an article or gave a statement about his wife was on there. She was the assistant coach for the AU team for the Mambas, and he was the head coach, but Kobe picked her to be the coach of this team because he liked the way she he basically said, like, they say I can't play defense, so can you teach the girls how to play defense? And so he recruited her, not the husband, but he recruited the wife. And I thought that was interesting because female coaches don't get enough recognition, and we're going to have a whole show about that. I got something to say. But I don't know. We could talk about this all night, I'm sure. Yeah. But I'm sure there's a HIPAA violation up there somewhere. I'll find out.
There's always a HIPAA violation somewhere. Always.
I mean, it's true. I mean, I don't even know. Was it Children's? Children's, we used to have celebrities come all the time. And we're supposed to look straight.
Don't talk to them. Don't ask for no picture.
That's Michael Jackson.
Discipline.
I'll lose it. I'll give it up, but I'll do it. He's like, don't look at him. I'm like, okay. Let me just. There's a fly on the wall over here. Hi, Michael. You're not supposed to look at him. You can't take pictures with him. You can't express that they were at the hospital that day. But they do it. And I don't know if you guys saw the article about the nurse who she leaked something. Oh, no. Was it Method Man's wife? It was a nurse that broke HIPAA and sent Wendy Williams the med rec of Method Man. Yes.
What? She
went real far.
She broke it.
Right.
Yeah, she sent the
If you
med
gonna break
rec.
it, you might as well.
And this was
break
years
it.
ago. This was years and years ago. But yeah,
Get fired.
she sent the med rec of Method Man's wife to Wendy Williams.
Why?
She was going through. I don't know. I don't know why people do this. Why would you? No, she was going through cancer treatment.
But
Why
why?
you need to show somebody that?
Wow.
She definitely lost her job because, of course,
her
you know.
license.
I don't know if her
Yes.
license got taken though.
that goes.
She probably got
feel the
fined.
need to do stuff like
Right.
that. Like if a celebrity, it's different if you see them on the
Greed.
street, you see them in the grocery
Money,
store or
yeah.
something. But when somebody comes to the hospital, doctor's office, I know I've been in a lot of situations where you get famous people in there, you like, okay, we're gonna bring you back now.
Right.
But you know, it's just like they're people just like everybody else.
Exactly.
You know, if they're caring for a sick child, a sick parent, sick spouse, whatever.
Well, there's
Let them have their privacy to be a
regular
Human.
a person, the person that
Yeah.
they are, because it's like ain't nobody gonna post our pictures up anywhere,
Right.
and we're we celebrities, so to
Right.
say.
Yeah.
Oh,
But, we all celebrities.
We are.
you
Do
are.
you save lives?
Yeah.
Do you save lives?
Yeah.
Do you save lives?
Absolutely.
Do you save? Yes. If you save a life, you a celebrity,
Really?
one way or shape or the other.
You think of yourself like that?
I don't really think that highly of myself.
You don't save lives though. You save grills.
That's a life.
I would say you save like
That's
Your
a lot.
life together.
Think
I
about
save
Cardi
them.
B.
Your life.
I
Think
save
about
them and I
Cardi B.
change them.
That's true.
Exactly.
Think about
Exactly.
Cardi B.
You ain't
Change your
living
life.
your best life if that
Exactly.
grill ain't
And a
right.
lot of times at the
Exactly.
dentist, other disease processes can be
Seen.
identified.
Yes, that's
Exactly.
true.
And
That's why he
follow
said
with
Exactly.
high
spread.
blood pressure.
And spread.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Touche. Let me
Diabetes
give you a
and all
ding.
that. Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate that.
Dr.
I'll
Gore
take
and
that. I'll take
ding.
that down. I'll take that
That's too many dings.
That's the way they do it.
Listen,
down. Hater.
I'm not a hater.
What you got in that cup? Haterade?
this is
Haterade.
Gatorade, a lemonade.
And haterade.
Lemon.
Little
It was yeah.
Little hate at the bottom. Hate.
But this was a good, informative show. But we have to know. I mean, I think we get a lot of press when you are a famous basketball player,
Yeah.
whatever, But we all, mean something, and I hope that each and every one of us can have a legacy to leave behind, whether it's as big as Kobe or Whitney or Michael. I just hope that we can affect our world, however big or small that may be. Yeah. But the biggest thing with him is I didn't think he was cocky. I just thought
I just thought he was confident.
I thought he was
very
confident
good at what
too.
he did.
He
was
could
good
back
at
it
what he
up.
did.
If you can back it up,
Yeah.
that's not cocky.
Yeah.
To me,
But it would be perceived as
don't
cocky
do
to,
me.
people
Don't
who
do
probably
it.
can't.
What?
You looking over here
I
like you
didn't
trying to
say
you was
anything.
about to. Don't come for me. Because I got records in different places, in different zip codes. Yeah, I'm known. Y'all just don't. Y'all don't know me.
I don't think,
Everybody like,
I don't think I would have told anybody that.
Why? Why?
You know what I'm saying? You got records?
Yeah, I do.
There's certain states that you can't go in no more?
Not a jail record. I'm talking about a track record. No.
A track record.
Yeah, no, but it's always a great thing when somebody breaks your record, and it's humbling, especially when you could be there to see it. So mine, however, are still up, and it's been 20. It's been 20 years, and
I mean, middle school records.
I'm gonna
don't
coach
count.
until somebody breaks one. I will.
Middle school records don't count.
I have a middle school and high school. Don't do me.
I'm just saying.
8 of them.
Everybody, everybody gets a participation ribbon.
Is there corn in here? It's corny. So corny. Well, are we saying farewell to one of the 80s babies in here? What we doing?
Yes.
Aww.
Yeah. This might not be the last time you hear my voice, but maybe I don't know. Yeah, I'm taking a new position out of the state. So,
Congratulations.
and Ms. Consuela, I appreciate your shirt because it's,
What the shirt say?
the purpose, the reason which God created me.
Okay.
And that's, it's crazy because I think about, that's why I got into dentistry is because I think that's one of the callings that God has on my life. And I love it. I really, honestly, 100% do.
You could tell who loves their job and who doesn't.
I've been here for 17 years.
From?
And I had to get a long, short story. So I was born in Detroit, raised in Grand Rapids, Michigan, moved to Georgia, and did high school, college in Georgia, went to LA for a year, came back here to go to U of M for dental school. And
Oops.
was I not supposed to say that?
And
Is that U of M?
Go green.
ooh, beef. It's a little beef, but it's a good beef.
Well, that's okay.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Continue.
Everybody makes mistakes.
We know.
Whoa.
We know.
That's Michigan versus Michigan State.
But no, yeah, I came back to go to Michigan for dental school. Finished 2007, and then did private practice for quite a while.
I was one of his patients.
Yeah.
So I'm not breaking HIPAA.
No.
Go ahead.
But after that, I decided to go back and specialize in prosthodontics. So I
Is
just
that like
finished
for prostates or something? I'm just asking for the people.
That's a whole different area of the body.
Orifices?
And orifice.
So
no,
what do prosthodontists do?
prosthodontics is the specialty that deals with tooth replacement. So implants, dentures, partial dentures.
So that's a specialty.
Full mouth rehabilitations is pretty much what I specialize in. When I think about purpose and everything, God gave me the opportunity to change lives in this manner. And, I've been doing it around the city for a little while, and he's now, calling me to go elsewhere. He said,
That's nice.
the great commandment is go ye therefore and make disciples. So it's time for me to go ye therefore and baptize. So, but, thinking about with Kobe and everything, like tomorrow was never promised.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things, I've been thinking about it for a long time. It's just like, I think you mentioned it, talking about when you haven't talked to people in a long time, or people that they did something wrong to you and you have not forgiven them.
Yeah.
This is my preaching opportunity, and it's like one of the biggest things I said. When I read the Bible, there's certain things that are cut and dry.
Yeah.
I don't need no explanation. And God clearly says in the Word, if you don't forgive others, I will not forgive you.
That's right.
And looking at Kobe's situation, he was probably having the best day of his life, doing what he does, and now him and his daughter are not here. And if you are harboring unforgiveness in your heart for anybody, anything, and you happen to have an unfortunate incident, I'd hate to say, I said, the joke is, my rap sheet is long enough. I got a whole lot of stuff I'm going to have to answer for when I see Jesus. I ain't trying to add to the list or wake up somewhere where I hadn't intended on being. So, it's important, just to seek your purpose, do what you do.
Yes, the purpose part, though.
The purpose
that part.
That's the real part, because it's difficult to find something that you absolutely love to do. And there are a lot of people out here that are going to tell you, because of where you come from, because of what you look like, that you can't do it.
Yes,
And
yes.
that's the worst thing to fall victim to is letting other people tell you what you can and cannot do.
Yes, yes.
So just keep striving and keep pushing, because I got into prosthodontics because somebody very close to me told me, when I mentioned it to them, they asked me if I was smart enough to do that.
Wow.
Oh.
And it wasn't like you could tell it wasn't like a funny thing. It was just like, are you smart enough to do that?
Wow.
I said,
That's what we're doing?
Get this out.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
If I could lay hands on you in a non-spiritual way,
Not in a non-spiritual way.
I would. No, but at the end of the day.
When did you start, become a Kappa, though?
Oh.
Yeah, that part. And you went to Morehouse?
I did. I went to Morehouse for undergrad. I became a Kappa in 2005. So
And
almost
I
15
think it's
years
kind of,
ago.
I don't know if it's unusual. I don't think a lot of, well, first of all, we don't have a lot of black doctors that I see. I don't care if they're dentists or whatever. We don't see that, number one. And then when you do, and then you guys are down to earth, and you are frat boys.
And HBCU
That's funny.
grad.
Yes.
Tuskegee University.
Okay, all
Okay.
right.
Okay, well, let me throw out my sorority.
Yeah.
Delta
Y'all
Sigma
hear
Theta.
that?
All right. There we go.
That's why I'm wearing my red. I was supporting y'all. I wanted to ask you about your boy. Who was that had the Kappa letters on?
Oh, Lil
That's
Boosie.
Lil
Lil
Boosie. Listen, Lil Boosie, he
Yo,
what did he say? Did y'all hear the interview? What he said?
I heard the interview.
That I'm disgusted. Disgusting. I don't think you want him to be a Kappa.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you didn't.
He apologized.
I'm
He
sorry.
didn't know.
No, we can
No, no,
cuss.
no.
We're not on the
Okay,
Christian
that's right,
radio
that's right.
station
No.
anymore.
I was so when I first
That's why we on the podcast.
when I first saw that, I was like,
Disgusting.
"Are you kidding me?"
He said, listen, y'all stroll to my music. I should be able to wear your letters if I want to.
So when they come, you know what? Come see me and get in the
I heard
cut
the apology.
because you gonna earn
Oh,
them.
yeah, he apologized?
And I heard the apology. I didn't hear that one.
Oh, no, he-
Oh yeah, no. That's what he said.
Oh,
That's what he
wow.
said.
And I'm like, okay,
They was
you know, and
upset.
Wow.
Yeah, but
any fraternity sort, I mean, it's not
Anything.
just
Y'all
you
paid
know,
to do you.
not
you
even
know,
paid to do it. There's, I mean,
It's meaning behind the
There's
letters,
meaning behind
and
the
you don't know
letters.
what they are.
Exactly.
So it's-
he said he was
Exactly.
Kappa fresh when I left.
show did.
He was at the game or something. He said, I'm
Disrespect.
Kappa
Kappa
fresh.
fresh.
Wow.
With a Kappa. Where he get that Kappa shirt though?
I don't know. I think he went
got
into
it from
the
a
mall.
thrift store.
I think he
You
went
think
into
he
the
made
mall.
it?
No, he went. I'm pure speculation. I think he went into a mall, and they might have had
You
like
can sell
a
these
shop where
buying
you go,
anything
you know,
in
get
the
fraternity
Oh,
sorority
okay.
stuff, and he bought one and just
When
When
decided
he
to wear
did
it.
that interview talking about would he do anything different, I was like, I'm done.
I did not
Did he
see
just
that.
I
say
saw other pictures of him
I
throwing
won't
up
post it.
the
I
hooks from
don't
the
want-
from the cues.
Really?
A whole bunch of stuff, just like foolishness, and I'm like, you know what?
Little boob sake?
You might look. I know
got
they
some
all talk
enemies?
about, you know.
He talk about his baby mamas?
He done walked away from a
Mamas?
couple cases of, you know, murdering
I ain't
folks
even
and
hear
whatnot.
that.
I've been
Wow.
like, I'd like to see him set foot like every fraternity that you have
Mocked, basically.
not even mocked but disrespected.
Yeah, true
you
that.
go.
I would love to see. You can pull out your pistol if you want to. You might
beat
get
down.
3 or 4
What
of them.
y'all gonna do?
You
beat
might.
down.
You
Now,
might get 3 or 4
They
of
gonna
them.
shimmy all
Y'all
over.
You know we gonna shoot me. That's exactly right. Shimmy his ass up. I did.
Oh,
you
because
broke
y'all kind of like the pretty boys of the
We are the pretty
but
boys.
here's the thing that's funny though. What y'all gonna do? Now, had he came for a kill, I'd be like, oh, he's.
Oh, he
somebody-
can't. There's another video of him throwing up the hooks of the cues.
Ooh.
That is
I
crazy.
said, look. I
Now
said,
that you messing with some life
on
or
now.
death.
look.
Them
Hey, man.
kills ain't gonna play with
They ain't
you
gonna play. Nah.
at all.
We don't play. We don't play neither. We might be pretty, but
Y'all shimmying and doing mirrors.
come on now.
What was that?
Come on now.
Doctor.
You know. I'm saying, you throwing that. That ain't just get your ass up off us. Come on now.
Oh, say, wipe me down.
You better get right
Oh, okay. Well,
Man.
it got real hot here. I ain't in no sorority or nothing because I was an athlete in college. So that's where, we had, who was it? Carlos. He was on the Toronto Raptors. He called in yesterday he said that was like their fraternity, which I can feel you because we got the boys team, we got the girls team. We don't have time for anything else.
Right.
So I understand because you can't come up in here and say you on the track team. I'd be like, I ain't seen you shooting in the gym. You ain't shoot. Take that shirt off. What set you claiming?
I was kind of like that young man back in Atlanta years ago who was portraying himself as a doctor.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Same,
yeah.
it's
The
like you
credentials.
just
That's
like-
like
Oh,
credentials.
yeah.
People work hard for what they have.
Exactly.
You can't just
That's
step
true.
in and be like, oh, I'm that too. No, you're not.
Like
I mean,
the
but
PCAs. sometimes.
Yeah,
Nurse
I'm a nurse.
They
assistant.
go into there and tell the patients they're a nurse.
And I
I'm
will
your
do this
nurse. Give all
disclaimer
type
right
of-
now. Is this thing on? Well, let me tell y'all something. A nurse assistant and a drug dealer is not a power couple. I said it. I said what I said. You know they be trying to get them a drug dealer.
You so.
And not a legal one. Like a pharmacist, that's legal. You know?
You still trying to fix your life.
That's what you get for shimmying. Oh.
You got to give the people what they want.
Oh, wow. That's such a Kappa statement. That's such a Kappa thing. But
Man.
is there anybody in the NBA that you know that's like in a fraternity? Do we know anybody?
Actually, there are a lot.
Shaq.
There
Oh
are
yeah,
a lot.
Shaq. Yeah. He's a Q.
Yeah.
I don't know
yeah,
anybody.
yeah.
Is there anybody big like other? I mean, Shaq is pretty big, but
I think Bill Russell was a Kappa.
the
That's old
announcer.
school. That's no old school.
Yeah,
like,
that's
from the Celtics.
before
But
my
I mean,
time.
yeah,
I'm
that's-
talking about
I mean,
some-
but I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head,
Sure, it gotta
and
be.
that's
They just
bad
might
that
not
I
just
don't know.
display it, but-
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. I mean, a lot of the guys. Did they stop guys from going from? I mean, LeBron went straight from high school to NBA.
He was the last one, wasn't he?
Yeah, did they stop that? Was that a rule or whatever?
Yeah, I think you got to do. You have to do at least 1 year
Yeah.
in college.
Yeah.
See, that's discrimination. Okay.
I honestly, I don't think so.
I'm not saying for them because women, we had to like. I was gonna play semi-pro.
Mm-hmm.
I had to have 2 years of college experience before I could even try out,
I think
and that was in the 2000.
I think in general, for you. I mean, if you thinking about it, you've got a 17 or 18-year-old that barely knows how to take care of themselves, and you're gonna give them a multi-million-dollar contract.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna end up well for them, and
But-
they're gonna be people, even if they're
LeBron
parents.
and Kobe.
But those, I want to say those are the outliers.
Yeah.
But you've got, I mean, they probably had teams of people around them
Yeah.
from the get-go to make sure that they were straight, all these. But you got
And that's
other
not
folks that-
everybody's story.
Exactly, that's
Yeah,
not everybody's
everybody
story.
doesn't have that.
And
Yeah.
all it takes is the right agent / financial person to swindle you out of every dollar that you
Oh
got.
yeah, for sure. Oh yeah,
So-
you gotta have.
And if you I'm getting these checks, and
I'm trying to get a check. Where you at though? Listen, my soulmate. I know you out there.
You
This
talking
is
to him?
yeah,
Look into the
worldwide. I'm here for you. Listen, you gotta be able to cook though. You gotta be able to cook. I'll stand next to you though. I'm from Kenya. We're shaped like a Coke bottle. I got you, boo. I love you. And then this side of the table, they need somebody too. So do you got a brother?
Oh, my Lord.
Is this a slave ship?
I loves the 54.
I'm gonna get me somebody, and y'all can't come to my wedding.
that's all right.
So, Dr. Gordon,
So yes, I
where
did
are you
do it.
going to share with us where you might be going? Or
I-
you're not ready to?
I don't know if
It's
I'm
okay.
quite ready,
Okay.
but no, I am. I'm gonna be going to Indianapolis.
I don't believe you.
Oops, he not that far.
You just threw that out there like, oh, let me make
No,
up
he
something.
is.
No,
he
I
is.
am.
He is.
I am.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's it's I mean it's an awesome. I'm extremely happy being able to do what I do,
That's good.
and it's crazy. I had somebody tell me as it once you start in, I hate bragging. And
You about to
talking about stuff.
cry?
No, I'm not going to cry. I'm just thinking about. I mean, it's very like in the state of Michigan. I am one of, I'm going to say 6 African American prosthodontists.
Wow.
One of 3 which are in private practice in the entire state.
Wow.
So it's like,
Don't
once
leave
you get,
us.
I was
I
just about to
know,
say,
I
you
know.
leaving us?
I know. It's I can't.
You gotta
when
go
God,
spread your wings.
when God gives you that
do.
opportunity to
You have
move
to do
and
it.
shift, it no matter what you're doing. Like I said, when you're in your purpose and
Yeah.
you're walking in your call, God's gonna call you to do some crazy things.
Yes, he is.
And wherever
And some
he
things
needs
you might
to
not even
go,
understand.
Exactly, and that's the
Like, what?
beautiful thing about it.
Indianapolis?
That's what I said. I was like,
Lord, you can't take me to Hawaii?
Exactly. I've been trying to look. I love being in Georgia. I've been
Yeah.
wanting to go home for the longest,
Aw.
but it's like, no, this ain't. I don't need you there yet.
Yeah.
And I'm following what my daddy telling me to do.
That's
So
good.
that's all
That's
I can
That's
do.
good.
Do you know
Well-
the stats in Indiana?
I do not. I do. Well, from where I'm going to be, I don't think there are any black prosthetonists
Wow.
in
so
that
you
in
get
that
to
city.
So he going to send you to put you on the map.
If it be his will, I will put me on the map, Lord. Okay, I'm ready. But
No, you're gonna do great things.
praise God.
Yeah. you
That's
will.
all I
Sure.
want to do is just make people
For
smile.
sure.
So, any last remarks? We got 5 more minutes before we wrap up. Actually, 1 more minute. So I'll just go around. I'll be last. So, anything you want to wrap up and tell the people?
I enjoyed myself this evening. Thank you for
Thank
inviting
you
me
for
to be on.
coming.
Me?
Ella, A.
I would just say congratulations ahead of time.
Well, thank you.
And just keep, walking in your destiny wherever he's leading you to go. Follow that. I would just encourage everybody to, just love a little more on your loved ones and on your friends, because we know, not just because of what happened with Kobe, but people pass away every day. Sometimes we don't hear about it. Sometimes it doesn't affect us, but one day it will. So just make sure that the people that you love know that you love them. I hear people all the time say, oh, she knows I love her, or she knows I'm proud of her. But maybe he or she doesn't. So tell them.
Yeah,
That's all.
I feel that. You got
Go
something
away.
else to say? Hurry up.
No.
Next question.
No, just just keep like you said, just keep on loving on everybody.
Yeah.
You never know. That smile, that hug, that hello, that may change somebody's life.
Yep.
So be kind to
Dang,
one
we not gonna
another.
have no testosterone up in here. Who we gonna get on the mic?
I'll call in
Oh,
and give you some fire every now and again.
whatever.
Make you ring that stupid bell.
Hater. It's hating up in here.
I just want to say thank you for allowing me and having me and inviting me. It was awesome. Do your research,
Yes.
not just rely on anything that someone's telling you. And I echo everything. Love on each other. Time waits for no one. Whatever it is.
True.
So continue to live in love.
Yeah. Nursing profession. I'll brag on us a little bit. We are the most trusted profession over physicians, lawyers, judges, everybody. We're the most trusted because why? We keeps it real. Okay? Hence the name of the show. I'm going to keep it real with you. I can tell you what you want me to say or what you want to hear, but I'm going to tell you the truth. And that's what this show is all about. And the biggest mistake that we make is thinking that we have time. And right now, we're out of time. Good night.
Good night. Go get your vaccines.
And your flu shot.
Oh, you're such a hater.